Welcome to Glassbox Education. This is Logan Luong, your instructor for today, and we are going to be showcasing a mid-fade tutorial. We are going to be showcasing 3 ways of how to achieve a blurry fade. Let's get started. This is our model Aman. Aman rocks a buzzy, short and simple, no need for sectioning. So we're just going to get straight to it. We're going to start by doing our 0 line. So we're going to be starting with our 0 line, and what I like to do is drop the fade just slightly, because with that it helps contour with his head shape. As you can see, the weight line last cut was dropped just slightly, so we're going to be dropping the fade just to match that, just so everything looks a little bit more symmetrical. Because at the end of the day, haircuts are very visual. It's technical as well, but we wanted to make sure that it looks visually beautiful. So what I like to do is I like to use the mirror, place my finger where I set my first guideline, and then use the mirror, match my fingers up to the other side. And then what I am gonna do is I keep my finger here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start from here and then connect it all the way here, just so therefore I set the 0 guideline and the foundation is set to make sure that the fade is even all the way throughout the haircut. So we're gonna use that little indent here, set our 0 guideline right there. Boom. We set our foundation for the beard as well as the haircut. So this is your balder. Foil shaver, different names, same result. So what I like to do is circles, up and down, or sideways. I like to use circles at the bottom, because honestly it really doesn't matter when you flick at the bottom. When we get towards here, that's when we want to start flicking. Boom. Really emphasize it. Because if you don't emphasize it at all, you're going to bring it all the way up and boom, all of our efforts have gone to waste. I like to do the back because that's the most surface area. From there, what we are going to do is we're going to go slightly above where our trimmer line was. So this is our clipper. Our trimmer was here. We're going to go slightly above with the balder, and we're going to flick down, because instead of up here, we're going to flick up. We're going to flick down. But let's get the majority of the bulk out of the way. I like to work top down, so get the top part flicked out. So just flicking right at that 0 line there. That's the motion we're doing. And then towards the bottom here, we're gonna flick like that. Goes like that, okay? We're gonna trace back to our clippers, because now we can fade upwards. Everything on the bottom here, we don't have to worry about. So, if our 0 closed was setting that first guideline, we're gonna follow it with our 0 open. This is where the lever is open, and theoretically, that's a 0.5. This is the first step to our fade. So we're gonna create our first guideline just half an inch, step above, and we're gonna just follow the shape of the bottom guideline that we've set. Okay, so now that our 0 guideline, or our open guideline is set, we're gonna blend that out. So just working towards blending out the 0 and the 0.5 with your lever play. Working it all the way between this to this, just to make sure you're blending out any harsh lines that you've created. And I find with your guideline, since the lever is fully open, you can have ease of mind that blending it out is just a matter of slowly closing it to making sure that visually it looks like there's no steps and lines that you've created in the fade. First way of how we're gonna show you to achieve a blurry fade is we're actually gonna do a guard skip where we're working ascending. So this is where we're working up. What I like to do is fully open, halfway, work my way from left to right, then fully close it. And so if my 1.5 was here, my 1.25 was here because my lever was quarterly open or halfway. My 1 close is gonna be slightly below that. And again, flicking. Boom. When you're in a pinch, this method works great. because at the end of the day, you don't have to grab all the guards. And then we are going, you see this faint line right here? We're gonna be just flicking right at it. So this is how you know your flick is good, because if you're able to flick out that line, get that blurry fade, and not create another guideline, boom, this is how you save about 10 minutes off your haircut. This is great for when you're in a pinch. It's a great way to test how good your flick is. And I'm already working on my detailing, just corner of the blade. Slightly closing it, working towards closer of that line. Lever playing, because at the end of the day, this is visual work now. This is good for now. So, recap. 2 for the debulk, 1 open, flicking into the number 2, halfway, going left to right, 1 close, again, left to right, underneath what you flicked into the 1 open, and then you're using your 0.5 to connect by emphasizing the flick right at the 0 guideline that you created there, which is your open line. Second way of how to achieve a blurry fade. So first way, we worked ascending, now we're gonna work descending. Descending is great when you need to have a fade in a very tight area. So we're gonna start with our debulk. Again, 2 open, 2 close, really doesn't matter. But where the head starts to round with the man, this is where we're gonna stop. We're gonna connect that because we don't wanna bring it in, okay? So if our 2 open, 2 close, working our way from left to right, open, halfway close. What's 1 step below that in regards to our guard system is the half, 1.5. We're gonna do our 1.5 open, theoretically a 2, right under that. Working from left to right, flicking into the top portion here, going from halfway, open, close. 1 pass, open, halfway, close. So we finished our 1. Our last guard is the half guard. So open, halfway, close. Nothing's different other than the guard. And you can see our fades coming together. We're just gonna slowly fade out this bottom line that we've created with our, and boom. See that right there, descending. So this last portion, quadrant area, is strictly what I like to do personally when I'm at the salon. And it's a combination between ascending and descending. What I like to do, start off with our 1.5 open. We're gonna start the way with what we've done with our descending, okay? Halfway, close, left to right, keeps things systematic. It's just like the ascending where we flick. I like to do it with my half guard. Halfway, working our way right towards that bottom line. Close, and then you see right there, that's what we're attacking right now. We're not going up. We don't want to create another guideline. I'm using the corners here because you can see his hair is starting to go this way. That's where the growth pattern is. So go again, this way. You can see right there. 3 different ways to achieve a blurry fade. So you can see, most of the fade is done. Last thing comes the lineup. The lineup is pretty much like the frame of the picture. So what we are gonna do is create the frame of the haircut. So you can see these like little shaggy areas. We're gonna create a nice sharp line, so therefore a man has a really sharp jawline, but as well as create a nice sharp frame for our fade, just so everything has got a nice frame to the picture. Everything just looks nicely packaged. So stretch the ear out. It's very delicate around this area. And then slightly work your way towards the beard. And I find you can see where some areas are less dense compared to where the beard starts to like become a beard. We're gonna just knock it out from here and connect it all the way up top. So I like to start from this area. Stretch the ear back, because again, it is a very sensitive area. See, the density starts to become a lot more fuller right there. So we're gonna just make sure that we don't go into it. We're just cutting everything above that density. So, last but not least, it leaves the top. So Aman's actually growing out his hair. With the consultation at the very beginning, he said that he really didn't want to cut the top. We're just going to grow it out. So if anything, we're just going to create a nice frame this way. And you can see how the hairs are very finicky. They move a lot. So if anything, we're going to visually create a nice sharp perimeter without making it look crooked. So if it helps you, turn your heads towards yourself and then comb the hair to the way it wants to move. And then strictly just cut all the little baby hairs that are just sticking out. You can see how his hairs are shorter here. What we're doing is theoretically just doing this way. But you can see above the comb, there's no hair there. I don't want to cut that. Same thing what we do on one side is the same thing we do on the other side. So we're just gonna rock it, use our comb as the guide. And you can see how this side was a little bit lower as last time. See, that angle is right there. The angle what we've made here, we're just simply going to connect it. Comb the hairs, you never know what's gonna stick out at us. There's that one little straggler right there. Just knock it out. This is where the visualization comes in. Use your mirror for guidance. You can see in the mirror, everything looks pretty straight. All right, that concludes our mid-fade tutorial for today. So just as a quick recap, we've done ascending, descending, and then what I call as a typewriter, which is how I like to fade at home. And we've cleaned up the beard, lined him up, made him look all nice and tidy. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions or feedback. We would greatly appreciate that. Go into the salons, get practicing. I hope this was helpful for you. Happy fading.